I will tell the public, we do have one TV that's not cooperating with us tonight. We've got handouts of everything up here. If you need anything, just come up here and help yourself. Calling the roll. Bob Van Haren.
Here.
Wayne Allman. Philip Frame.
Here.
Jim Bodenhammer.
Here.
Jennifer Baker.
Here.
Susan Stockton.
Here.
Nick Reed.
Here.
Corey Manuel.
Here. All right, the first item you've got to take care of tonight is the minutes from January 8th for your approval.
Make a motion, we adopt the minutes.
Second.
Nick Reed.
Yes.
Philip Frame.
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
Jennifer Baker.
Yes.
Corey Manuel.
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer.
Yes.
All right, you got some committee reports in your package. Any question about any of those reports? If not, I do have one announcement I'll make on the front end tonight. If any of you by chance run into a guy named Johnny Dewey next week, I believe next Friday is Johnny's last day. 29 years. And he's got more information about where water and sewer lines are in his head than any computer we got around here. I can promise you, he knows it real well. But he's decided he's going to spend the next 29 years with his little grandkids, and we had a little send-off for him today. But if you see him next week, you might take the opportunity to wish him happy retirement, okay? So with that, we'll start on our new business. Steve Hill's here. We're going to ask him to come up. We've got some stuff about GIS that we need to get licensed, and that's now that we don't have Johnny and don't have GIS in his head.
That's a great segue. So because Johnny's leaving, and only because Johnny's leaving, we need to improve our mapping and knowledge about where things are located within our city and our water distribution and sewer collection systems. And a big part of that is geographic information systems. Over the last, let's just say 6 months, we've made some significant strides in this area. And as we're growing, we need additional licensing to be able to add users onto that system, to have location in the cloud to store data so that we can disseminate that out to the parties that need it. And so what you have before you is an agreement. It's a 3-year agreement for an enterprise license. It's a small local government, cloud-based enterprise agreement, annual of $20,600 for 3 years. And in that, you can see some of the licensing and options that will be available to the city. And so I just need approval to enter into that agreement and continue the build out of that GIS. It is, and speaking of Johnny and the work that he's done, he actually has helped in a tremendous way over the years in mapping out and locating our assets. And so this is the next phase of that, taking the GPS locations and tying them into a geographic, like a map, where now I can attach to that attribute data like age, material, and then on top of that, then we start building a work order management, asset management system so that we can know the history of the assets so that we can make better decisions about where we need to invest our dollars. So that's what we're building. So this is a starting point for that. Any questions?
Being the technology person I am,
Right.
this is the only firm, or is there other firms that do this?
Esri is the #1 GIS company in the world. So are they the only ones? No, they're not the only ones, but they're the only ones who sell this product and this technology. Does that make sense? GIS is
Good enough for me.
GIS is a broad word and term, but this software specifically can only be purchased through Esri or ESRI, depending on where in the world you live.
I'd just like to make a comment and say I deal with this kind of stuff on my day job anyway, and I think this is a great starting point for the city. I think this could be adopted more for the dissemination of information to the public, used for different departments, so I think this is a good starting point for us. I'd make a motion, we enter into the agreement.
Second.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. The next item again is, Steve, we're trying to get rid of a no Vector truck and get some funds out of that to help go towards the next truck, I believe.
I heard someone was just looking for one of those. We'll make you a deal.
Anybody in the room wants to buy one, we got a dandy.
That's right. So it's a 2011, it's on an international chassis. It's a Vector 2100, and it's a combo unit, so it's primarily used for cleaning sewers. This particular vehicle has just over 77,000 miles on it, about 14,500 hours on it, and we're estimating the value 120,000. We're hoping to be able to sell in order to put that towards buying a replacement for that piece of equipment in the future here. I just need approval to be able to put that on the marketplace or somewhere to sell on auction, or, to sell this.
Make a motion to approve the sale of the Vector truck.
Second?
Philip Frame,
Yes.
Susan Stockton,
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer,
Yes.
Corey Manuel,
Yes.
Jennifer Baker,
Yes.
Nick Reed,
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
Okay, Steve, you got a for sale sign you can put in that window, and see if we can get rid of that. All right, the next item we've got is one that's been anticipated for a long time now, and that's approval of the membership fees for the new aquatic center. We have hashed this around, I have no idea how many discussions for the last year. Been trying to put together a plan that we feel like is very affordable to everybody in this community, and also, we've got some data that we can share with you on how other cities and what they're doing in those membership rates as well. There is a few folks in town today have made some statements that we didn't honor our commitment to the senior citizens, and there is absolutely zero truth to that. We've got Silver Fit, Silver Sneakers, and we're working on one other one. Our employees have already been certified. We're waiting on the facility to be certified, but they won't do that till, I think, within about 6 to 8 weeks of occupying it. And we wanted to go ahead and get this to y'all, try to get these rates approved. Daniel is ready to start selling memberships. We already have the software up and running. We're using it right now today already for registration for youth sports and all the programs. It's worked very well so far. So what we want to ask you tonight is to approve these rates for us so that Daniel can get started, and I'm hoping probably around the 1st of February we'll be ready to go live, he and Allison, and start selling these things and getting some members in this. We've got some targets that we want to hit for those that buy before we open. We got a number in our head of how many we want sold ahead of time. It won't become effective, I think, until we do open, correct, is the plan. We'll go ahead and start that. We're even planning some nights, we hope, in February, if we've got the weather is suitable. We've been looking at hours of like maybe one night a week from 5 to 7, 6 to 8. Daniel, some of his staff could be on site at the center, and if Roger Morgan's wanting a membership but he doesn't know what all this entails, they can go out and take a viewing of it, and then they could buy a membership right there on the spot that night. So we're trying to work out some schedules for that. We are now looking at, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to, because we're looking at a major snowstorm this weekend, but we have set an opening date for Daniel's staff in this facility of May 1. And then opening up the outdoor pool Memorial Day weekend. We're trying to plan how that month's going to be that he's in there, and get him in and get him running and start using this place in May. Everything looks great to be able to do that, but Mother Nature could really drop a bomb on us this weekend. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope that it's 80 degrees and no snow this weekend. So Daniel is here. Why don't you come on up, Daniel? If any of the council members have any questions about any of the rates, if you want him to explain there's 3 lines, I believe, on each category, annual, monthly, and a 3-month deal. And a lot of information on this sheet, corporate discounts and stuff like that he can explain to you.
I have a problem with this sheet. I talked with Daniel briefly about it before. The monthly rates that they list here are only if you get the year. He said, for example, this says the monthly rate for the senior 60 over is $20. But he says actually it's $30 for the month. It's only $20 if you take a yearly membership. So I think that the monthlies on here should be listed the actual monthly charge. So if the monthly is $30 a month, you can do the math and figure out if you do a yearly membership that it's going to be $20. But he said all these monthly rates on here are what, $10 higher actually if you just buy the
If you only
monthly?
want to come for 1 month. If you just want
That's
to
if
show
you
up for
buy a
1 month.
single month
Single
membership. Just a single month. If,
But what I'm saying is, this doesn't say that. This shows the monthly rate at a yearly rate, not the monthly rate. It's not, you need to have the actual monthly rate written on here. Not, but
And like I
it
said,
is.
what we try to do, we brought all that information once, and it's a lot of information. And so we decided to make the decision of what we felt was going to be our most popular and used memberships, and that's what we came up with the sheet to get the information out there.
But if I just want to come for 1 month and I'm a senior over 60, do I pay $20 or do I pay
Pay
$30?
$30, but that will be discussed before you would sign up. It's-
But then you should have that on this sheet, because this is the sheet that's going to be disseminated, so that if a couple wants to go in, it's really not $40 for a month, it's $50 if they just buy a month, correct?
let Daniel explain how that structure's set up
So
first,
the
okay?
structure's set up, and if you look at the comparisons, it's pretty common throughout that the least amount of time somebody wants to sign up for, the more they're going to pay to come in. So the 1 month will be a little more, the 3 months a little more, and if you go to the 12-month, you get the best rate outside of paying for the membership in full.
And I don't have a problem with that,
Yeah.
I just have a problem with the way it's portrayed on this piece of paper.
Yeah, and that's the reason it says right across the front of it, draft.
Yeah.
You know, we want
Right.
to get the fee structure set,
So-
and then we'll have the forms and the software
For the
to do
public
that.
to look at this, they need to look at this and see what the actual monthly rate is if they buy 1 month. Then you can compute, okay, so I can say, oh, 1 month is $30, 3 month is 75, and 1 year is 240. But that's not what your sheet says, but that's what the actual rates are. If I'm confused by it, the public's going to be confused by it.
I don't know why it keeps
And that's something that Daniel Nelson can put this in any basic format that we need it in. They can do that, that's not a problem.
Now, I
Not for
have a
them.
problem with your rates.
Yeah.
I have a problem with the way it's written.
Okay.
Well, and that kind of answers part of my question then, because I was trying to figure it out. Normally, with most things, if you're purchasing annually, you get a break.
Yes.
But the way this lists is 40, the only spot where you would actually pay more, according to this, by the 3 month, and that's what was kind of throwing me off. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm looking at the couple, it's $40 monthly for a couple, 3 months is $135. Well, if
Instead
I
of
did
120.
3 individual months, it would be
And-
$120.
And again, the first
And
time
then-
we brought this in, we brought all the memberships.
Right.
This one page became 4.
Right.
And, because there's so many options you can put out there, especially when you start comparing to other cities and they do different things. And we've said it with, the policy and procedure manual that we're putting together that, it's going to be fluid for several months. We'll see what our community wants. And just because it's common to have a 3-month pass everywhere else doesn't mean that's what our community wants. Our community may want, to pay in full and get a bigger discount, things like that. That's what we'll just have to see with as we sign people up and we.
I think that the
We'll go
3 months
from there.
pass is great, but if a couple is really $50 a month and 3 month pass $135, then you need to show that.
Yeah.
Correct? Don't you agree, Bob?
I mean, I see where I see where you're coming from. I mean, that would add a little more clarity on it, because then at that point, if you're looking, at a couple for a year at $50, that's $600.
Yes. And then
If you did it monthly.
Yeah, and the thought process behind that is there might be some people that will sign up for 1 month to test it out, to see what we offer, see how the program, see if they like it, things like that. I don't see the benefit to them to continue to just sign up 1 month at a time and pay the money. They would come in and get the 3 month or the 1 year.
Right.
That, again, going back to what I felt like would be the most common used memberships in the community is why we broke it down and try to get it as condensed onto one sheet as we could to make it.
Which is great. I like the 1 month,
So-
3 month, and annual breakdown. I just want the 1 month to show the actual charge for 1 month, not the charge if you buy it a year. Does that make sense? Anyway, but otherwise, it's great. Your sheet's great, other than the monthly thing needs to be adjusted to be correct. Otherwise, I like your breakdowns. I like your, I think you've done a great job on that part.
And we put that annual fee paid in full, so you can take that, and under family, that's $600 annual, and if you pay it in full, you get a 10%
Get a 10%
discount, correct?
discount.
So that's now $540. So,
So is that the same thing with the couple then? So if I pay an annual at $480, I'll
You
get
get a
10%
10%
off?
discount.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, see,
On
you got to
everything.
read some of the lines
Yeah.
down there about
And
some
again,
of the
this is-
discounts.
So it's
I mean,
another.
Allison's had to
okay,
put this
so
out.
it's another
Yeah.
10% off.
Yeah.
See, that makes it even better than even if
Yeah.
you break it down even
So,
further. So, yeah.
But it's hard to put, you should have seen the first few sheets that Allison and them made and put together. This thing was
Yeah.
5 or 6 pages long, so we're trying to get it
Yeah.
condensed to get it something that is a little bit easier to read.
And then the other side of this is when we have staff and we're training staff and we come in, the more memberships options we have, the more they have to search and click on the right button. And Allison can attest to ActiveNet it's a great program, but right now it's already several pages of memberships and we've condensed it down as much as we could. So just looking at it down the line and trying to condense it as much as we can, but there's options that we can add to this or take away as we go, depending on what the community wants.
So when I talk to people about the rates, I need to add $10 to each one of these monthly lines if they just want a 1 month
They just want a
membership.
1 month,
Okay.
1 month membership.
And then also, Jennifer, remind them that annual number there, over on the left, you'll see a line down toward the bottom that says annual fee paid in full. So if anybody wants to go ahead and pay for the whole year in advance, they can get 10% off of that number right there.
It's just that the way this is written, it's cheaper to do it monthly than it is to buy 3 months.
And, it's just hard to explain.
Yeah.
We've tried it 100 different ways.
We've had it in about 4 different formats, and this is the one
Well,
we
the
sell.
format's fine, it's just that one
Well-
issue I have.
Daniel, Allison, I'd like to go ahead and put in my request for an annual couple pass at this point.
Okay.
So I get on that line. So
Well,
You want on line one, huh?
yeah.
There's several people that want 001 membership, so I don't know how we'll put the option that off or something.
I just want a membership. I don't want, just put me on the front line. That's all.
Daniel, the visitor passes,
Yes,
that's a daily,
that's a
like
daily.
That's a
youth,
day.
$5.
Yeah, youth would be $5, adults would be 10, seniors would be 8, and then the students would be 8 as well. And then the 10 visit pass is something, you can come in, you can get a 10 visit pass and you can use that 10 times yourself. Or you can get a 10 visit pass for a family of 5 and y'all can all come twice. It's 10 visits, however you want to use those 10 visits. When you use them in a month, you can spread those 10 visits out throughout a calendar year if you choose to. But that's what, the thought process behind that was we get a lot of vacationers coming here for the lakes and rivers, things like that. If it's raining, they got kids, they want to get them out of the house. They don't need a membership, they don't need a 3 month, they don't need a 1 month, they can come up and use that 10 pass visit for a day or two while they're here, weather's bad, swim in the indoor facility.
Well, and there's a big plus too for seniors. You've got there, and it's kind of light at the bottom of the line, but I know there's a lot of folks that are already Silver Sneakers
Yeah.
and Fit members. So
Yeah.
if that's already included in their deal, they don't even have to worry about the
If they're
breakdown.
Silver Sneakers members, they don't pay a membership.
Yeah, they don't even have to worry
They'll come
about a
in, they'll have a
membership.
card, they scan it, we'll bill to their
bill that out.
Silver Sneakers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
they don't pay a membership. And we'll ask that question before, make sure nobody signs up not knowing that they're
Right.
a part of it.
Yeah.
So,
We had a question come up today from a visitor here Are these numbers all they would pay? Yes, they are, and that's for the entire facility. That doesn't limit you just to the walking track or the pool. There will be some programming done. So if Bob wants to come in and walk or lift weights or run or whatever on his own, this takes care of that. Daniel's working with some stuff now that in certain areas we'll have some programs offered. I think that one room, the yoga, maybe a yoga class or something. If it's a class that's being put on and you want to participate in that class, there will be some additional fees for that. But that's got to pay for the instructor and stuff like that. And that's in a lot of different things that could be available. But you can come in on your own and under this number and do whatever you want to anywhere in the facility.
Early on, there was some discussion about if a person or a family has, about scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that at?
So we currently have a scholarship program for the youth center for our youth programs, things like that. People can donate to it. Sponsors will donate to it as well. We use that money. A kid that comes in, they can't afford it or the family can't afford it. We use that money to pay for it. We can set up the same thing for membership for the kids. The kids that are 15 to 17. The kids that are 12 and under, that's going to be a little difficult because they have to come with an adult. So we'd have to create a family, membership for that. But it would be donations. People could donate to that as well. There will be a criteria that they have to meet that we'll work on and as a group and figure out what that is. And then if they qualify for that, then we'll give them a scholarship to come. That is something we definitely can do if that's something the council wants to do. But we already do it for our youth programs as well.
We already
That'd be
do.
based on the available funding then to
It'd be
fund that.
based on available funding, but with sponsorships and things like that, I think we would be okay to, a lot of people will donate to that. When we do our in-person signups, a lot of people know about it now and they'll throw a $20 bill down there for that and we put it in that line item. So,
Okay.
but
Well, now that would be something that would be scalable as well. Like you might get a $50 or you might get a 50% coverage based on the guideline.
We can do it
100%,
with
or-
this. We can do it however we want. I mean, we've not got anything on paper for this, which is
Right.
for the youth program. So we can definitely set it up any way we want to. I know we didn't have anything like that where I came from, but I can check with Batesville and Jonesboro and some of these other areas if they've got anything like that. And maybe copy a little bit of it and see what they do.
Because I think it'd be beneficial to a point to have a scholarship style program. But just like any other kind of scholarship, one person might qualify for a $5,000 scholarship, another person might qualify for a $10,000 scholarship based on the need. I would hate to see us just give it away completely when there's availability, to kind of have some ownership in it, not
Yeah,
just,
no, absolutely.
oh, here
Yeah.
you go. It's,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
No, I think it would, make it more successful too. If we did that, we could spread that money out farther that way. So I'll be more than happy to look into it.
I have one other thing, too. So we initially passed two sales tax. One was the half cent for construction, which will go away once the facility is paid off, correct?
No, not the facility, the bond package.
The bonds.
The bond package took care of that playground up there
that's
and
right.
everything.
A lot of
Okay, but
maintenance.
the half cent eventually will go away.
Yes, it'll go away.
The quarter cent stays for maintenance of, parks?
Total park system.
Park system,
Everything in
okay.
the system.
Because there was a question that came up kind of that says like, oh, well, why are we paying membership fees when we're paying a sales tax? So, I kind of know the answer, but I would like you all to explain the
And we've
answer.
explained that from way back in 2021 when this first started, that piece of that pays for the operation and maintenance of the entire Parks Department. The memberships of this there's never been any discussion that would be free. Never, ever was that discussed. From the very beginning, it was discussed that we would offer the senior silver fit, silver sneakers, military, veterans, and things like that. All that's listed on here that Daniel's got. And that's all we've ever said about it. And that'll be the same today.
So kind of a short answer to that question would be, the quarter cent goes for the entire park system.
Yes, ma'am.
The membership fee goes just for this
For that
community
facility.
facility.
Right there, yeah.
You've got salaries, you've got maintenance, you've got lots of expenses there
Yeah.
that need money to support it. So I'm just trying to clarify for the public so they won't get too confused about the quarter cent sales tax.
And something else, that things that I see that I look at, these communities some of these communities that we compared ourselves to, Batesville, Benton as well, Conway, I'm not 100% sure on Harrison. They have a half-cent sales tax for operations and maintenance when we have a quarter, and we're still able to get our prices at or below what they're charging. So, it's, I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% sure what Harrison has. I didn't go
It's not what we've got, for sure.
But, so I'm pretty confident our price is very, very competitive across the board with everybody else.
How many more people are you having to operate that facility? How many people are you having to put on?
Counting lifeguards, it'll be, which we already have lifeguards on duty in the summer, but they'll go year round. It's going to be close to 50 with the lifeguards, probably 15 full-time between front desk, custodial, programming staff. We'll add a couple ground staff to take care of the site as well. But not all those are coming in at one time. We're going to step it in based on the membership and as needed. So we pulled several jobs out that we're going to look at it for 27. If the membership jumps up and it's busy and we need it, we'll bring them in. If we'll bring them in as the membership and the needs arise. But we need great window cleaners. I don't know who has seen it, but the mayor and I try to figure out every day how we're going to clean all those windows out there.
Yeah.
But there's 10 full-time right now that we're fixing to have. We have 2 jobs open right now, and then we have 8 more to go probably the next month for the front desk and the custodial staff.
Well, I know on the Parks Committee, they've got a taste of what it was like. We had this discussion, we bounced back and forth. We beat poor Daniel up to the point, I don't know if he knew if he was going to be able to run it or not with what we were saying. And I think we come together, and I think we've got some very competitive prices with, looking at some of these other facilities. Ours is going to be better. It's going to take more to run it. And so I'm very confident in what we've got here. Took a lot of work. And like I said, there's nothing that if we see it's not enough or it's too much, we can always come back and change it if need be. But right now, I think we're at a very good place on it. And with that, unless anybody has anything to say, I'll make a motion to approve. Yes, Mr. Jim, he can't hear well.
I can't walk well, so there you go. I think some of your rates are too high. I mean, frankly, if you look at Conway, Harrison, Batesville, their senior rates are all pretty significantly lower than ours. And I think that needs to be looked at. I also have some concerns about your student rate, because having spent many, many years over at the college doing financial literacy training, I don't know where those kids are going to come up with that money. I mean, they can barely afford college, let alone these fees. So I'd like you to revisit those. And then the other thing that you said was, so all the classes will be extra. So if you're paying $240 a year plus exercise classes plus water aerobics, it's just going to go up and up. So I'm concerned about that. And then the other thing I wondered was why we didn't have the fees for all the other services that you were going to have, like
Which other
room
service?
rentals and,
What now?
so that when people want to come in and rent space.
Oh,
to
that's
use-
going to be coming up later.
Right.
Yeah, the rentals and stuff like that, and the fees for the meeting rooms and stuff like that. We're not ready to present that one yet.
Okay,
But
because
we're
I would
ready
have
to
thought it
start
would have been better presented all together.
No.
so
we
that people
didn't
kinda
think
had an
that we
idea.
wanted to do that right
Okay.
there, yeah.
And I agree with Jennifer. It needs to show the actual price.
And we can make that change on it real easy,
So-
Daniel. Yeah.
But that's my concern. I just think it's a little high. And looking at the other fees for the other areas, it seems like it's a little high. And granted, it's a new facility, but you're going there to do the same thing.
And you can do the same thing, but we're already getting calls from people that want to come out and do, I can't ever talk about that one room there, the exercise, the yoga room or what. We've got some people that are wanting to do classes in there, in groups that we have now. That's got to be, somebody's got to take care of that instructor. It's in there. If you don't want to participate in the class, you can go in there and lay down on the floor and do all the yoga you want, you know, but if you want to do the class. And we don't know how that's going to be. Daniel may have a better idea because he's been through this before.
Well, yeah, and you have yoga classes at the library for $2, and you have other yoga classes in town that are 10 or 15. So
We don't know what ours are going to be. We haven't got with the
Yeah, we don't know.
instructors
And
yet.
the
but
classes are optional. And then
Right.
so like, you don't have to go to those, but, so like our aerobics room. So the way
Right.
we've got it set up, we have 3 monitors in there that will do virtual classes, that you are welcome to come anytime you want.
Right.
Hit play and go. Now, if you want a more in-depth, more high-intensity workout, that's where we'll have another instructor come in, and you would pay that instructor.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be a fee that we would set up with the instructor.
And then do you have an idea of how much you're going to pay extra for like water aerobics and stuff like that? Because I know the seniors, that's been a big
Yeah.
thing for them.
So I don't have the water aerobics program class yet on that. We got to put the schedule together on when we're going to give it, but we're going to keep them in the mornings like they're used to.
Right.
And we'll go that route. We might do 2 versions of the water aerobics and do one that's part of just the early morning.
Basic.
Come in, do your basic water aerobics, you know, and then do a secondary one that's more of a high. I had a lady that she wanted to do another one, but she wants it to be
More.
high intensity, yeah.
Yeah, got
She
it.
is high intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's those options like that
Right.
we'll do. So
But it's all going to add more cost. So you're already above our competitors. I mean, not that anybody's going to go to Batesville or whatever to work out, but I still think that it needs to come down. Just my opinion.
Speak a little more about Silver Sneakers. Is that going to be a live instructor how many times a week?
we don't know, it will be a live instructor. We don't know how many classes yet, usually probably 2 a week is what we'll set it up
And is
as.
that just with the fee of the adult, for the senior?
If you're a Silver Sneakers member, you don't have to pay a membership. When you show up, you have a card, you scan it, we will bill them, and then they will pay us for you. So you don't have a membership.
Because that's
on
how
that.
much I pay
Yeah.
now where I call.
Yeah, and even
Yeah.
if you're coming just on the 3rd day that there's no program, you still get to come in for free, go work out, go walk, do the things you want to do, and we would still bill them for that day. Yeah, so.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
I know some of you, those I don't know, my name's George Wolford, Dr. George Wolford. How about that? I do have some information from Harrison. Harrison gives a 20% discount for all military, 50% discount for any disabled veteran, and a 100% discount for a disabled veteran. I'm a disabled veteran. Dan Hall back here is a disabled veteran. Our work, in particular, is with suicidal veterans. Dan will tell you more about that in a minute. I would like to be able to take potentially suicidal veterans that I work with do something like this. My big thing is when they're isolated, I want to get them out of the house. I want to get them out doing anything. And if the first month is free for a veteran, any veteran, and I can get them out of the house to go free to something like this, that would be a really big deal. Now, why should you guys offer something like that? Well, 14 years ago, when we started doing work with suicidal veterans, the state of Arkansas was the 8th highest in the United States in veteran suicides. Baxter County was the highest in Arkansas at 300% of the national rate. Because of the work that Dan and I do, 2025, according to the county coroner, there were 0 veteran suicides in Baxter County. 0. So, yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So does he. I'm saying that you can help us in our work if we can get 1 month, first month only, free for all veterans, so that we have the option of taking them there and showing them, hey, it's fun to get out of the house. It's a really big deal for isolating veterans. Yeah. The rest of it, I think if Harrison can do this, we can do this. If a person is served his country, he's 100% disabled, can't we give him 100% off at the swimming pool? I think we can do that. Pretty well-to-do community. Nice way to say thank you. That's my pitch.
I believe you all know me, Dan Hall. To add to what George was talking about, and actually to brag on this community a little bit, he gave you the numbers on what the suicide rates were. Basically, it came down to we were losing 26 citizens a year in Baxter County to suicide, about half of them veterans. Most of the ones that were veterans were due to isolation. Being a disabled veteran myself, when I retired, my physical condition deteriorated a little bit, and the only two things that helped me recover was use of a pool and a stationary bike. So I went over to Scuba Doo and had a membership there. Not only do I get that membership and that use of the pool, but you become, by getting out of the house, being involved with other people are doing in the community, it's kind of like you almost created another little another little family. So if I'm not there one week, it's like, I wonder what's wrong with Dan. And just those kinds of connections make a huge difference. And what I'd like to see is a disabled American veteran have a free membership, just to get them out once they're out of the house. I mean, as it is now, they can get up in the morning in pain, like in every other morning, and decide to sit home and feel sorry for themselves, or they can get out and do something. So by the gesture of getting them out to the pool or to the recreational things, anything that gets them out of the house improves them. It also improves the community because there's an awful lot of skills and knowledge being sitting in a house, wasting away. If we get them involved in the community, it makes a huge difference. And I don't think it's a matter of money so much as it is the gesture of this community has really stepped up. The work that we've done, we've been recognized nationally and statewide. And this year, when 2025 came down with 0 veteran suicides, it's like, wow, that was a lofty goal. But we have so many people in the community that have stepped up, the city, the county, business people, and every year we seem to add some other thing that gets benefits to veterans where they feel like they're really part of a community that cares. A few years ago, we added the Ultimate Car Show in the spring, and that's come up by 60% a year, every year since. Last year, we had somebody come to us and had an idea for a 5K run to help the suicide prevention program. And we said, hey, the network in this community, let's call it the first annual 5K run. And I think she started out thinking in terms of 50 runners and raising $10,000. I think we had 209 people that ran and raised well over $15,000. It goes to the program. So I would ask you to consider disabled veterans free of charge. Thank you.
Dan, how many 100% disabled veterans do you work with now?
I don't really know, because a lot of them are 50%, 70, and that percentage doesn't really mean much. They can be 100% disabled, in fact, and have a 0% because they never applied for any kind of a rating from VA.
Okay, 50% and above then. How many do you work with now?
We've got about 4,000, a little over 4,000 that use the Central Arkansas Veterans, or the community, CBOC they call it, the Community Outreach Outpatient Clinic. But there's an awful lot of veterans that aren't even in the system. They never applied for any benefits. We find them through church organizations, families, whatnot. Ask if we'd look into a situation for a veteran, and that's the way we find a lot of these isolated veterans that haven't joined any of the veteran service organizations. They haven't asked the VA for anything. They're just isolated.
is there a level, 50%, 40%, 60% that you?
Well, the VA number is a little funny, but the way it works now, if it's a service-connected disability, they get a rating. They can have a disability that's not service-connected that they get no rating for at all, no benefit. When a combination of service-connected disabilities reach 50% or more, then if you're in the VA healthcare system, they'll take care of all of your healthcare needs. But 50% is that cost.
And that's what I'd like to see, service-connected disability.
Yeah. If they're a disabled veteran, I don't spend an awful lot of time worrying too much about what the percentage of disability is. That's just a number that they use for financial benefits.
Yes, that's what I mean, is service-connected disabilities.
I've got a service-connected disability, it's hearing. If you could come up there and talk, I would appreciate it.
I know what you mean, but they won't pay you 10% unless you have tinnitus to go along with it.
I'm at 90. Do I get a 90? Would you?
Absolutely.
I don't want to go there.
I would say, yeah.
Didn't want to.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
There are about 5,000 veterans in Baxter County, you probably already know. The CBOC, the community-based outpatient clinic here in town, sees about 2,200 veterans. That's their...
Can you step up to the mic, please?
I appreciate it.
The clinic here in town sees about 2,200 veterans. Of those 2,200 veterans, my guess is probably 30% of them are disabled. The rest are just there for health care because they're eligible for it. They've earned it. Okay? Disabled means, and we're talking about disabled in the line of duty. Okay? Right? Right. That's a horse of another color, and that's the kind of disabled veteran I'm talking about. Okay? Is disabled in the line of duty. That's a special kind of disability. There aren't very many of those. This is like Purple Heart kind of veteran. You're not going to get many of those 100% guys out there that go, you know, here I'm 100% disabled, I want in free. You're not going to get a lot of them. They're not that way in the beginning. They'll probably want to pay even if they're eligible to get in free. That's just their nature. But I think we should offer.
Let me ask you this, or to Daniel, if we could do this. We're not even planning on, I think, starting the membership drive until February 1, correct?
Correct.
And I'm very familiar because I've sat in a lot of meetings with you and Dan down here about this and what y'all have done here. But I also worked with a guy for 40 years that carried mail every single day. You know, he had a service-connected disability, but he worked every single day, delivering mail and walking the roads in Paragould, Arkansas. Mm-hmm. So I think if we could do this, Daniel, if we could get the rest of this ready so that y'all could start on that and we could get that approved, I'd be willing for us to sit down with you and Dan possibly or somebody and look at what that criteria needs to be, you know, and come up with an option. You know, right here he put in a 10% discount for military and active and retired.
The way that looks,
I could easily say something else as well. You know, we could do.
The way I read that is all you got to do is just pay your bill for a year and you get 10%.
No, there's a discount for military too, correct, Daniel? Or
yeah,
active?
well,
Yeah.
or military.
Yeah, so.
But I'm talking about 100% discount for 100% disabled veterans.
And how many of them do you think there might be?
You're not going to get many. I doubt if you'll get 50.
Well, now my question is though, is you came up and initially said to give them the first month to come in
any veteran
for free, any veteran.
1 month free, yeah.
But then the other side of that, then from Mr. Hall, was that any disabled veteran, not at a percentage, but any disabled veteran should be able to have a free membership then.
I'm good, I got it.
Thank you. Is that, am I correct, Dan, on that? Any disabled veteran,
I think I've still got to.
non-relative to percentage of disability?
Yeah, generally, that's what I was saying, but that's, you'd make any determination you want. If you wanted to say 50% or something, wouldn't make any difference. Not that many people either way.
Well, if they're over 60, have them sign up for Silver Sneakers.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's a nice
Well, see,
thing.
and that's another thing too, as well, is that, I mean, there's different avenues. to
Medicare
take
does
that.
silver sneakers, VA doesn't. VA patients don't get silver sneakers benefits,
Okay.
sorry to say.
Well, that's something I didn't know. I mean, I
In
thought-
any case, I'd be glad to sit down with you and, you know,
agree with the
I
mayor.
can't,
I think we can get this going and sit down and work out some,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know, this,
because we really need to get started and get the program set up and get everything ready to start selling those general memberships. None of it will happen before February 1. And then that gives us some time to sit down, and we can do that pretty easy and come up with what we want to offer for, whether it be military, disabled veteran type program. I'm good with that, but he's got a lot of work to get started on, or Allison has, or somebody over there, to get things set up and ready to roll, so.
any other questions I can answer? Y'all got my phone number. This is what I do, so if you got any questions, call me.
I appreciate your info.
I'm a
Yes.
24/7 guy.
Thank you for
All
your
right.
well, for bringing this, yeah.
All right.
So Nick, you were.
I was going to say, if my motions, I agree with the mayor, and I also like the idea of updating this menu, if you will, a little bit, get a little clarity with that, but I make a motion to approve the pricing with this meeting for.
Yeah,
Continue.
and we'll get that, Daniel, we'll schedule that as soon as this snow's over with.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow.
Yeah,
Allison probably has it in her files from with all of it.
yeah, yeah.
Scott, I second.
You're gonna work on that pretty quick.
All right, calling the roll on the motion. Jennifer Baker.
I'll say yes to the rates as long as this sheet is accurately reflects the monthly rate.
Corey Manuel.
Yes.
Bob Van Haren.
Yes.
Nick Reed.
Yes.
Philip Frame.
Yes.
Jim Bodenhammer.
Yes.
Susan Stockton.
Yes.
All right, that takes care of our agenda for the evening. Anyone else have anything else to bring up? If not, I guess we can get ready to go watch the weather change on. Steve, his guys are
Think
ready.
about the street department.
They've got a plan, you know, we're just sitting around waiting on it to happen now.
Yep.
We will, whenever the bell rings and it's time to go to work, they're ready to go, so we'll be starting sometime during the early morning hours probably.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye. Scott, you're slacking. We all had to-